to our Team Beauty Official podcast. This is episode number 4. I am a masterpiece, and we have a very special guest with us today. Super excited to have this young lady with us. I want to share a little bit about her. So she's been a part of Team Beauty for 6 years, you guys. She's lost 41 pounds. She's energetic. She's confident. She is amazing. Her name is Nellie Polanco. So Nellie, thank you for accepting the invite. Are you excited?
Thank you, Vale. Yes, thank you so much for having me. This is actually my second time here in the podcast room. And when I got the invitation, of course, I had to say yes. I had to come back, share more juicy secrets.
Yes. So we're super excited because today's topic is I am a masterpiece. And I think, Nelly, that we're always a work in progress, right?
Yeah.
So every year, every day, we're getting better and better. So, it's an awesome topic to talk about just because I know a lot of the girls, we talked about confidence our last episode. And so I was like, okay, who do I know that is so confident, that is so self-loving, so self-accepting? And I thought of you.
Aww.
Okay. And so I want you to kind of share with all of us because we want to get to know, how it is that you got to where you have gotten. So I know that you were telling me that you have always liked to dance.
Yes.
Okay. And I was like, no wonder she's like this confident ball of energy. But tell me a little bit about how you started, dancing and started, this journey of becoming a dancer and a confident one.
Yeah. Well, Vale, it's so crazy to think about it that before you actually brought up the whole dancing and confidence, I never paired those two together.
Okay.
Like it was always just dancing one thing and then me the other one.
Yes.
I never actually paired it together. And now that I look back into it, that's where it started.
Yes.
Like that's where the confidence started.
Yes.
That's where the posture,
Yes.
where to hold yourself.
Yeah.
Where to hold yourself. You got to hold yourself up here, especially
Yes.
performing in front of so many people.
Exactly.
Going live on TV, things like that not everyone does.
Yeah.
And it's scary. The adrenaline gets to you and everything, but I love that now I know where it came from because I used to never, everyone would ask me, where does it come from? Where does it come from? And I never knew.
And you told me you started dancing when you were like in 3rd grade. So tell me a little bit about that.
Yes. So, I always knew I loved to dance. But when I was in elementary, I was actually always the lead in the school plays.
Okay.
And we would do little dances here and there.
Mm-hmm.
My music teacher, he actually owned a dance studio outside of school. And he was the one to personally invite me and say, I think you would be amazing in my dance studio. Come give it a try.
Oh my God.
I was in the 3rd grade and I started private lessons and then that's where it all started. 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, I started junior high. I started in the drill team and I fell in love. The drill team is where I became the most confident and that's where I just loved everything. In 8th grade, I actually became the major of the squad. So it was the top one.
Oh my God, Nelly, yes. I can see you.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved leading people. I loved being in front. I loved being looked at always.
Yeah, the center of attention, girl.
Yes. My cousin always tells me that I am main character energy.
Yes.
I always want to be in front of everything.
Totally.
So then I ended up in high school, drill team on there too. And in my junior and senior year, I became one of the officers also on the top. And I just loved it.
You're making me want to get a dance class just to my game of confidence. Okay.
Yeah.
So I know that you said in high school you started, you were in the drill team. So still in high school it was a drill team?
Yeah, it was a drill team. The ones that perform halftime in the football games. My favorite.
Yes. So you told me also about, an experience that you had with one of the teachers, one of the dance team instructors, I believe. So can you tell me a little bit about that and how it might have led you to have maybe like a toxic relationship with food? Okay, so share with us a little bit about that because I kind of know the backstory, but let's talk about it.
So it actually wasn't the director. It was actually a competition we went to. And when you go to competitions, you see so many different people there, so many different girls, all shapes, all sizes, you know. But back then, you know, they see a dancer and what do you expect? A skinny, tall, fit girl. And I mean, from us, like in the valley, we're thick, we're curvy.
Yeah, it's very demanding.
Yes,
the dancing
yeah.
world. They want a certain type of, you know, fit
look.
and look.
Yeah. So I mean, when we would go compete, we were competing with you know, different type. I don't want to say a word, but different type of dancers up there. Yeah. And we actually got body shamed, and they actually were calling us while we were performing the fat group. Okay. And just because we were a little curvy and stuff, and we ended up going back. We won. I believe we won that. I don't remember. We won that competition, but we went back and it got into my director's head, the fat group, you know, and she wanted to go back that next year and not be called that anymore. Like, she wanted to show out. Okay. So instead of it bothering her, it actually put a flame in her. Like I'm trying to help these girls lose weight, feel more confident, you know, and not so much like be called the fat group, because that really did hurt us a lot. So she actually put us into like a strict plan, not super strict, because she's not going to be telling us what to do, but if she were to see us like munching out on hot Cheetos, like honey buns, things that we would buy in high school,
especially in high school,
the $1 hot Cheetos, she would actually get upset at us, and she would tell us that does not belong here in my dance room. You cannot eat that in here. Yeah. So I mean, we wouldn't eat it there.
It got you on your toes. Yeah. It got you to want to be better and change your habits.
She actually started she made us run before every practice. We would run around the whole school to build that endurance also, but to get some exercise in it. Yeah. We would exercise, and that's where I actually noticed that I was falling behind in the workouts, because I couldn't last as long. Excuse me. I couldn't last as long, or even in the running, we ran the whole school. I would have to stop while the other girls kept going. And in my dance team in high school, the rest of the girls were very skinny, petite girls. And I actually found myself, I saw myself as one of the bigger girls. And that's when I started noticing that I was part of the bigger crowd. I wasn't small, petite. All the other girls had to get extra small shirts, and I was in the large, extra large category. So, I mean, excuse me. That's where it all started, where I would start sneaking food, not just so much in the dance room, but even at home. I would put food in my backpack. I would eat it when I was alone. Yeah. I would eat it when I was by myself.
When nobody's watching.
Yeah, when no one's watching and it tastes more good.
I can relate to you because, you know, coming from a family where my sisters, I have my older sister, she's taller than me, right? And my younger sister, she's always been a dancer as well. They've always been very, you know, skinny and tall. And I was always like, I was a middle child, the one that was a little bit bigger than my sisters. And so I remember, like, the more people would tell me, like, you gotta eat better, to me it started becoming like a toxic food relationship. Yeah. So like, the more people would tell me that I was looking bigger, I would want to eat more.
Yeah. That actually happened with me too. And I can relate with you with that too, because it happened so much to where it was my own parents body shaming me. Yeah. And I don't like to say body shaming.
That hurts. But, you know, they're doing it for your, like, now that I'm a parent, I'm like, oh my God, it's my child. I want the best for them. Yeah. We want them to be healthy. We want them to be, you know, happy, healthy. Yeah. But as the daughter, right, in that age group, you want to kind of rebel. Even though they want the best for you, you know, that was like the Nellie rebelling. So tell me about that stage in your life.
So that actually happened in high school, but tapping out of high school, going into college, I started my first job working retail at the mall. So, I mean, there at the mall, when I had a break, what would I have to eat? Like mall food, you know, the food court. That's all that was there for me, just to get something fast, quick, and easy.
I mean, what do you see when you go to school, Nellie? They have like these, you know, the machines, the snack machines, and it's like hot Cheetos, honey buns. Yeah. Like, no one has really taught us what we should be eating and, you know, calories versus nutrition and all of that. So I think it's also a lack of of nutrition education.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's why, you know, we're so excited to just be a part of Team Beauty that really we can help in that area.
No, honestly, yes. Because even growing up in a Mexican household, they never tell you, nomás una tortilla.
No.
¿Qué te dicen?
Tortilla, pan, mantequilla, todo.
Yeah, échale más. Yeah. So, I mean, it's also with our culture.
And the more you eat, your grandma's more happy.
Yes. And then we gain weight and they're like,
it's perfect. You're healthy.
Yeah.
So, okay, Nelly, so tell me about, you know, maybe the relationships throughout your high school. I know you told me you struggled with some of the boyfriends that you had.
Yeah.
It was getting into your head with with all of that. So tell me a little bit about that, just for the audience to get to know you.
So, in high school, I did have a boyfriend, and he was pretty fit himself, nothing crazy, but since I was part of the chunkier crowd, it was always a big thing when we would go out to eat or when we would have family gatherings, whatever, where he would count my food, where he would see what I was eating. And then at the end of the night, he would tell it to my face, like, you had so much when you could have just eaten one or two, you know? And that's when I started noticing that food was bad.
Yeah.
Like, food shouldn't be bad. Yeah. It shouldn't be bad for us to be eating. But when someone's literally counting in your face, telling you not to eat something,
so he would count your calories and tell you, like, okay, you ate this much today. And how did that make you feel?
I mean, no one wants to feel like you've eaten so much or you're overeating. Instead of helping you,
I feel like it makes you feel worse, because that happened to me too. You know? So instead of helping, I feel like it's important to take note of that, because sometimes we feel it, but maybe when we're talking to other people, we don't realize we're doing the same thing, right? So, hey, watch this, watch what you're eating, right? Instead of helping, sometimes we're hurting them, right? So
like maybe coming off a different way.
Yes, exactly.
So, I mean, he would come off a very toxic way where it was just not okay. I started not eating. That's when I started getting bad relationship with food. I started skipping meals. I started eating maybe once a day. And it wasn't even good food. It was probably like Burger King, Whataburger, whatever.
Yeah, just one meal a day.
One meal. And that's when I thought I was very skinny and fit. There was a time where he was hugging me and he felt like my back rose and he started going really hard, like with them, like not in an abusive way, but like playing with them. And I was telling him, stop. Like, I don't like when you do that. Yeah. And that's when he told me, well, if you don't like it, lose it. And I just stayed there like.
Did you slap him, Nelly?
No. No, I didn't. But it's because at that time, he had a lot of power over me. Yeah. He was 2 years older than me, and I was dating an older guy, my first real boyfriend, you know. So I just always took what he said to heart, and I was always like, he's telling me to be better. He's telling me to be better. Yeah. He actually broke up with me that day, and he said, you know what, I'm actually going to break up with you, and I'm not going to get back together with you until you lose 5 pounds. So go home, weigh yourself right now, send me a picture. And when you lose 5 pounds from today, then we can get back together.
So you tell me you just never went back with him.
No.
Okay, good.
No, I did. You did? I went and I lost the 5 pounds.
Oh my God, Nelly.
That's how much you were committed
to him. Yeah. Like, you were like, I'm going to do whatever he says.
I thought he was the love of my life.
Okay.
And that's where it got really toxic. Yeah. But I ended up losing the 5 pounds, and I sent it to him like, oh, baby, I lost the 5 pounds. And he said, good job, baby girl. We're back together. Like if nothing happened.
That's crazy. Yeah. So tell me, Nelly, when was it that you decided for yourself that was toxic, that you were in a position where you wanted to work on yourself for your health?
So I always wanted to lose weight for others. I mean, it started with my boyfriend, and then it started with my parents, and they were always telling me like, lose 10 pounds this month, I'll give you $100. Lose, 5 pounds this week, I'll give you $50. They always tried to bribe me in a way, but they were seeing it as motivation to keep me motivated, right? Yeah. So I always wanted to lose weight for them, for my boyfriend, for my family, for anything. And I never found myself losing weight. Or, I mean, not even healthy weight. If I was losing weight.
You didn't really want to do it yourself.
For myself, yeah.
It was always somebody expecting you, wanting to. And I think that's an important thing to talk about, Nelly, because so many times I hear it like, oh, I want to join your challenge because I want my husband to lose weight. Oh, I want to join your challenge because I want my mom to lose weight. Don't do it for others. No. Don't do it so that they can get inspired. Do it for, if you don't do it for you, you're not really doing it. So that was awesome. So when was it that you decided, I'm going to do it for me? Because it never worked, right? When your parents told you, when your boyfriends told you. I mean, with your boyfriend, it kind of worked, but it started being toxic.
Yeah. And unhealthy.
Exactly.
Because I wouldn't eat or anything.
So when was it that Nelly said to herself, like, what was the breaking point for you, Nelly, that you said, okay, I have to change?
Well, I mean, it was after high school. I ended up breaking up with that guy. Not good.
Good.
And I ended up having another relationship. It didn't work out. And I started telling myself that I was trying to find comfort within others and not within myself. Okay. So I ended up breaking up with that second guy as well. And I said, enough is enough. I'm not going to do it for another person. I'm not going to do it for my parents. I want to do this for myself. I actually went on a 4-year single journey. Okay. I wasn't taking guys. I wasn't accepting guys. I wasn't doing anything like that because I wanted to work on myself.
I feel like that's so important.
It was, and it's something that doesn't happen from one day to the next. It literally had to bring me to my lowest point in my life where I was over 310 pounds. Okay. I was finding myself in the clinic. I was telling you earlier, with older people. I had high blood pressure. I would wake up in the night not being able to breathe. I would throw up my food. Oh my parents would tell me that they could hear me from their room snoring so loud because that is a side effect of obesity. And it was just so bad. I was literally at the lowest point in my life where I was at the clinic with older people. I was the only young one there at 20 years old. And I was like, what am I doing with my life? Like, I'm literally killing myself with food. Yeah. And I know me and you were talking about it earlier that we find comfort in food. Yeah. And that's what I used to do. Yeah. I would get anxiety. I would go to food. Yeah. I would get depressed. I would go to food. My parents would tell me something. I would stuff my face even more. Like,
I feel like food is a drug.
It's a drug.
Bad. It's some bad. People say like, pues yo no tomo, pues yo no fumo. I don't smoke. I don't drink. Yeah, but you're killing yourself with food because it does become a comfort. It does become like a drug because I can tell you,
addicting.
When I was, in the heaviest I had been, I was weighing 165 pounds. For me, I'm 5'3", you know, and I was in that toxic relationship with food that if my boyfriend cheated on me, I would go to the gasoline station, grab some hot Cheetos, ice cream, drinks, pickles, chocolates, Reese's, Kiss, like everything. And then I would go to my room, Nelly, and just eat it all.
And slam the door.
And my mom already knew. Like when I came home with a bag of Stripes, like the gasoline station, she knew. She was like, algo le hicieron. She's hurt. Yeah. Because that was how I would cope with whatever it is I was going through. So disclaimer, guys, that's not something you want to do.
No.
Okay. It got me into feeling horrible. It got me overweight. It got me feeling very insecure. But I love what you said, Nelly. You had to take a 4-year journey of being single. Because I can tell you for me, like I was always in a relationship.
Yeah, me too.
And you can't be in a relationship, Nelly, when you're not okay, when you're not healthy, when you don't know who you are, when you're insecure. It's not a good position to start a relationship. So guys, girls, whoever's listening to this, right? If you are not healthy, if you are not sure what you're doing with your life, where you're headed, you don't feel good, you don't feel confident, do not start a relationship because you don't know who could be mind playing you. That's when we're the most vulnerable. And anybody can take advantage of us. So tell me a little bit more about your 4-year single life journey, how you started getting into taking care. Tell me about that fun part, Nelly.
So the self-love journey of Nelly. I've had a lot of very different journeys in my life, but that's the one that I take most pride of. Like that was literally me putting my foot down and saying enough is enough. Like, and I took it so to heart, and up to today that I am no longer single, but it took long for me to get to where I was. And I knew it wasn't going to happen from one day to the next.
Yes.
So when I started, it was hard.
Mm-hmm.
It was hard. It's not going to happen from one day to the next. I would still binge eat. Mm-hmm. I would still munch out. I would still let people in my head. I would still do all that because it happens. We're human.
Yeah.
And especially us as women with the hormones and everything, it happens. It happens to where we crave stuff and we want to munch and eat.
Yes.
But it really just took me being like, enough is enough. I wanted to work on my health. Mm-hmm. I wanted to work on myself. I had this big confidence within myself, but behind closed doors, I didn't know who that person was.
Oh, I relate to that.
I did not know who that person was. I would go out and be happy, Nelly, like this and that.
Go home, sleep all day, eat all day, and just hide behind doors.
Yeah, literally.
I totally relate to that.
So it took a lot for me I dug myself so deep into a hole where it's like, it's time to come out. And it was so deep in there. It was like little by little.
Yeah.
You can't do it overnight. You have to little by little start working out little by little. Nothing like go cold turkey. And I used to do that and it would never work out for me. You would go back to your bad habits.
Yes.
Little by little, start implementing more greens, start working out once, twice a week.
Yes.
Do stuff that feeds you. Mm-hmm. That I did stuff that fed me. Yeah. I loved to dance, so I would dance.
Okay.
I love yoga, so I would do yoga.
Okay.
I'm very flexible, so I like to do all that crazy stuff.
I've seen you, girl.
Yeah.
At our events.
Yes. I love to read. Mm-hmm. I love to write. Everything that's in my mind, I love to jot it down. I love not wanting to get into religion or anything, but I love God, and I would talk to him a lot. When I had no one else to talk to, he would be the way to go. And it was just little by little, feeding me what made Nelly happy. Yeah. And really what made me happy.
Just as we, indulge in food.
Yeah.
We can indulge in other things and it feels just as good. Yeah. Right. So for you, it was yoga. For you, it was journaling. For you, it was reading. For you. And that's important, Nelly, to identify what is it that makes me happy. Yeah. Even if we can right now jot 10 things down that make us happy and start doing those things, schedule them in your day.
Yeah. It's because it's so easy to want to make others happy. Mm-hmm. Like, what makes Vale happy? Oh, I'll do anything to make you happy, you know? But then in the end of the day, it's like, what makes me happy? Yeah. Why can... And it happens to the best of us where we love to take care of others, but no one ever takes care of us. So we need to be like, what makes me happy? What are my likes and what are my dislikes? Because in a man, I would never see any dislikes. I would be so head over heels, right? Mm-hmm. But in that single journey that I took, I would be like, I don't want this in a man. I don't want this in my next man. I don't want, if he ever makes me feel one way, I don't want that.
You start to get to know yourself in a level where it's like, you know exactly what you want. Yeah. So you're not wasting time anymore. No, literally. You're not wasting time. I went through my single stage too. It was a year, but it helped me get to know me, what I wanted. It helped me focus in what I wanted and focus in my goals. Yeah. Nelly, and that's when I was in the highest, right? Yeah. And that's where I was aligned with my partner, now that's husband, right? Because I was aligned. We were aligned. We were both in that self-love journey, getting to know each other, knowing what we want, what we don't want. And that's powerful, Nelly. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that with us. Of course. And so I want to talk to you about, I feel like so many of us, some of our listeners maybe, they're like, how can I get unstuck? Because right now I'm in where Nelly was in the beginning, right? And so how can I get unstuck? How can I have the confidence to one day do what those Team Beauty coaches do, Nelly? Because I hear it all the time. Vale, how am I going to be a Team Beauty coach if, I don't have a six-pack yet, right? So a lot of the things, we want to be perfect, Nelly, and you don't have to be perfect to love yourself, to accept yourself, and to help others and make them feel good, just like you did to us right now. Yeah. Because let me tell you something, I'm empowered right now with everything you've been talking about. So give me 3 action steps for our listeners. Take notes, guys. Give me 3 action steps. What can we do to get unstuck?
Well, let me just start off by saying that no one is perfect. Yeah. Because we try to to be perfect in a way that we see people on Instagram, on Facebook, on social media. No one is perfect, and no one will ever be perfect. But you can be perfect for yourself in any way that you want.
Yes,
So
I
would say, I mean, my 3 action steps would be: know your worth, first of all. Know your worth. I mean, it took a long time for me to fully know my worth. And like I said, it didn't happen from one day to the next, but know what you have to offer, because you do have a lot to offer to anyone in this life, whether it's a job, whether it's a relationship, your family, you have a lot to offer. So know your worth before you get into any relationship, any situation.
Okay.
That would be 1. Number 2, confidence is key. Guys, confidence is key. My now boyfriend always tells me that he fell in love with how confident I was. You know, like I walk in a room and the spotlight goes on me. And it's like, it's true. You have to own wherever you're going. You have to own it no matter what. No matter what you're wearing, what you're doing. Confidence is key. And no matter what you do with whatever you're doing, keep your head up. Always. Never walk with your head down. I actually heard my dad say that to my nephew this weekend. He lost his baseball game and he was like super down in the dumps. And my dad said, no matter what happens, win or lose, keep that head up, because you do not want anyone to see you with your head down, and then that's when they'll get you.
Yes.
That's when you're your most
crown
vulnerable.
up, girls. You can't have your head down because your crown will fall, girl. We don't want your crown to fall.
No.
Nelly,
your head up.
I would add one more action step. Take a dance class.
Yeah.
Take a dance class, because, girl, I want your confidence.
Yes.
I need to become a dancer.
No. Take that dance class, guys. And even if you have 2 left feet, as people say, go have fun. Life is too short to live in regrets. Go have fun. Take that dance class. Take that journal class. Take whatever class you need, but have fun. Enjoy life and just live in the moment.
I love it so much, Nelly. And before we end with what we're going to end, I just want to remind all of the listeners. Well, first of all, I want to give thanks to everyone that donated to our breast cancer awareness. We raised over $4,000 for DHR. So thank you if you contributed. Thank you, guys. It takes teamwork, and we raised $4,000. Super proud of that. Super proud of Team Beauty. And, you know, I want to remind everyone, Nelly, that we have a date, November 15 for McAllen, November 8 for San Antonio. All I know is I'm going to walk in there in my hot pink gala dress, more confident than ever after this episode. And there's you get to qualify VIP, get with your coach if you want to be VIP. Trust me, you want to be VIP. Okay. Yes. And we're also giving away a Peloton, Nelly. We're giving away a Peloton that night. So it's going to be a powerful event. Nelly, we talked about nutrition and how we don't talk about it enough. I want to remind our listeners, November 4, write it down, where we'll have Dr. Luigi in McAllen. So if you're from the area, contact your coach, because you don't want to miss the amazing information Dr. Luigi is going to provide to us. We're going to talk about nutrition, health, how to make an extra income. And we're super excited about that. Super powerful. Nelly, what do you want to leave our listeners with? What is your... ending
my statement would be, do not ever judge a book by its cover, because there is a lot to be discovered on the inside.
Yes, I love it, Nelly. Thank you so much for your time, for your energy, for being vulnerable with us. You know, next week we do have a very special guest. We have Selena Gonzalez next week. We're going to be going over how to be a boss mom, not just a mom, okay? So it's going to be pretty awesome. Thank you so much for your time. I loved having you in our studio room. So excited for our next episode. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Share this. Don't forget to tag your beauties inside of the live video on Facebook and Instagram. And if you're listening on Spotify and watching, don't forget to refer us to a friend. Send this to a friend that needs to hear this. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Yes, thank you guys.